Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Katarina's Garage. My name is Katarina Lloyd, and oh god, the quality of this is horrible. Like, the problem is my internet, and also doing this off of my phone. I might just try this on the laptop because it's a little better, or set it up on the computer up over there. But I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to say hi and see how everybody was doing here. And also talk about some of the stuff with my cars and what is going on with the channel and what is coming up next. Because you know what, I really do enjoy doing these. And it's been a while since I've done my own live, so why not? You know, it's just one of these fun things that I can do for all y'all and enjoy it, right? Because like the last few lives haven't been as good concerning longevity, but that's okay. It does happen, and it's not a big deal. Um, yeah. So, anyways, what's going on with my cars at the moment? Like, honestly, not much. I still haven't fixed the convertible yet. Hope to do that Thursday, actually. It's supposed to be like 17 degrees, beautiful day. Great day to work on the car, so why not? Oh, sweet. And I just noticed a few days ago, I actually reached over 8,000 hours of watch time. So that is truly awesome. I was just looking through YouTube right now as I am live with y'all. So that is really cool. But yeah, because like I'm hoping, like I said, Thursday to fix the car. Um, and overall, it is really fun. Um, I'm not sure what else really say on that. And like Stitch, well, I'm gonna be trying to get some parts here soon. Actually, I do have the valve cover coming. Brand new valve cover that'll look bitchin' on that car. And it's cast aluminum, so it's actually a better upgrade. Not only does it weigh less than the stamped steel, but also it has better cooling properties for your head. So aluminum is good for that. Now, with cast aluminum, you have to be careful of cracking. Like, for example, the valve cover that's right next to me, which I can show you guys what happened to that. Because that was actually off of the 86 Mustang, my convertible. Which, give me a second here. Get more light in here to make this a little better. I don't know what just dropped there, but that's fine. Here we go. Do that. And, yeah, there we go. Yeah, not as choppy anymore, but the looks of it. So, at least on my end. Might still be choppy on yours. I hope not, but, that's better, and you can see a more natural hair color, which I'm thinking of dyeing it actually soon. Or, well, getting it cut and then getting it dyed. Because, you know what, I miss having dyed hair. But, anyways, that's neither here nor there. So getting back to what I was talking about. So, I have this valve cover here, which... this is the original valve cover, or at least one of the valve covers off of my 86 Mustang. And, it's interesting that in this year, they didn't have a proper PCV setup, but instead of having a PCV valve, they just have this little breather here, and that's it. But they don't have a breather on the other side, so it can cause issues with crank ventilation that way. So you do have to be careful with a V engine of having that happen. But, anyways, what I wanted to show you with this valve cover here is actually, if we look, right there, you can see where it's cracked here. And somebody actually knew it was cracked and put some silicone right here. So, and did that seal worth a damn? Absolutely not. So yeah, it's just, it is unfortunate because these valve covers, I was gonna try and resell them, but now they're pretty much worthless because it's gonna cost you more to fix it than it's worth. It really is. If you wanted to fix that crack over here, and it goes really deep too. You can kind of see it. You can see it there, right? And so yeah. Hey, Mustang guy, how's it going? Definitely appreciate you coming out to my live stream. I'm just in a pretty decent mood today, for once. You know, turn that valve cover into a keyring. Now, how would I turn that valve cover into a keyring? Just doesn't. I don't see how that would work. But actually, I'm doing fairly well. Lately it's not been as good for me mentally. It's just I don't know what it is. Dealing with this stuff in my head and stuff like that. But however, today I'm doing pretty good. You know what? There was a little bit of a time, not too long ago, to be honest, where I was just like really feeling awful, and it was just the other night. I decided, like, this was 2 nights ago, that I was just so depressed that I just wanted to. I just had to go for a drive, and that didn't really clear my head the way I wanted it to. But getting a milkshake from McDonald's afterwards definitely did. Um, so there is that. So hex glued onto the screw holes. Well, that's a pretty big keychain. Um, I'd have to like part of the valve cover, and I don't really want to do that. To do that, like, don't get me wrong, that's kind of a cool idea to a certain extent, but yeah, not really my thing. But it is a cool little valve cover. It's too bad it's damaged, because what would have been about $100 valve covers that I could resell are now basically worthless. Except for maybe like $40 to somebody who just wants to use them as a wall hanger, which I might just end up doing. But lately it's been working actually quite often, so that's been nice actually. There has been quite a few times I went to McDonald's and it has not worked, so I'm definitely glad that it did last time, because yeah, I really needed that. Because I didn't want to get a regular meal or anything. I just wanted a milkshake. But yeah. So, anyways, something that's going on, uh, like with my cars. I shouldn't even say car. Actually, no. Yes, I should say both. Because the one thing is, and something that I need to look into, and I should just change the oil again and see if I see any shininess, but I don't want to. I'd much rather do it somewhere else. I just don't want to do the rigmarole of cars here to change the oil. Because one thing is that oil has, like, I think 600 kilometers on it. That's it. But unfortunately, because the one thing that I spotted, and if you look at my previous video, which is the one where I am changing the, or no, it's not when I'm changing the valve cover. It's actually inspecting with my borescope, right? That video, you'll see, and it's a very, very small piece. I didn't keep it, unfortunately, but, a very small piece of metal that I found on the number 6 push rod, which is concerning, because it's like, okay, what is it, and how did it even get there? Because, like, a piece of metal being that far up doesn't really make much sense of it being able to go through the oil passages and stuff like that, right? That way. However, what it may have been, and I think I have the answer to that. And I think I have a lifter that is going. And that might be a little piece of metal from that. Because, well, now when I have the car and just driving it around town or whatever else, and even at higher RPMs especially, there is a tick. So that's really annoying, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can really do about that too much other than, tear the motor apart and put a new cam and lifters in it. But, for now, not going to end up doing that. So, yeah, and if it is, like, hopefully, the lifter doesn't completely collapse, because that would suck and it would totally screw things up. Because something I could do to see if, because the power and stuff like that feels fine, but again, that thing was always gutless, so I wouldn't really notice if it was slower or not. No, it's not an exhaust gasket leak. I know what a tick sounds like. Because the thing is, you would actually see it's. I've had the car running with the hood open when it's cold. You'd be able to see the exhaust come out if there was an exhaust leak from the manifold. So, I had to think about that for a minute. Just like, huh, what are you talking about? But no, but it actually makes sense that it would be a lifter because again, the one thing is actually, and I will mention with the inline sixes of how they are designed, they actually do have an issue when it comes to oiling on the back of the valve, like the back of the head, right? So with that in mind, I wouldn't be shocked if the um whatchamacallit, if the lifter is actually going because of that, right? And a little piece of metal came off of it from that. It's definitely possible, and and that typical sort of tick that from. Literally, I've heard it so many times from Chrysler products, so I know that sound all too well. Like my car definitely has a bit of a tick now. That's fair. I mean, the one thing is, the inline six, yeah, and the thing is, like, it feels fine and everything, but it's definitely possible that it needs new lifters. Which, if that was the case, then I'd put a new cam in it. But because since I want to go force induction, I'd have to get a cam that's for force induction. But I'd like to have a decent sound at the same time, so I don't. I'd have to contact places and see for that. Yeah. So so there's that with that one. Lilo is still having her issues concerning the massive smoke problem because when the thing is just idling, because when you first start up, the carburetor revs to like to 2,500 RPM, and then it'll come back down. Um, and the thing is just smoking like a chimney out the back. Now, I think I know what the problem is there. I'm pretty sure that's a tuning issue because I'm pretty sure the motor's okay, but I don't really know that 100% for sure. Um, and basically, I still need to, and hopefully Thursday I'm wanting to do it just because it's supposed to be super, super nice on Thursday. Like, it's supposed to be 17 degrees Celsius. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. So, which will be really nice to, put parts on the car. But swapping out the distributor, I think will fix that because what it's doing is it has an electronic advanced distributor currently in it. And the problem is it does not have a proper computer talking to that electronic advance, which is not really it's not really retarding the timing or even advancing it properly. So with that in mind, just swapping it over to the HEI that I have with the vacuum advance will be much better. And I have played with the timing. It's not really done anything. Like where it's currently set right now, which is as advanced as I can put it, without actually like taking it out and clearancing the thermostat. So yeah, which that would increase it probably another 30 or 40 degrees. So it's one of those deals that like I don't have a proper timing light to figure out what exactly the timing is set to. But again, that stock sort of style distributor is not good for that engine, and the HEI should fix it. And when I put it in, because like I'll just listen to it by ear, because I was playing around with the timing the other day. I was listening to it by ear, and just seeing where I was at. And yeah, I didn't really get anywhere with the timing, unfortunately, because I tried. Like I tried to retard the timing a bit, didn't do a thing, to be honest, other than just make it run a little worse. So it's like okay. So yeah, the HEI will definitely make a difference. The only thing I need to do is figure out the wiring to it, which is pretty easy. But yeah. Oh yeah, like I've heard HEIs are fantastic, so I do want to try this out and see how it does. Um, and I am very very happy with the distributor when because it's all fine and it's designed for a roller 302, which is what mine is. So yeah, it'll be very fun, and I can't wait. But like I said, probably Thursday I'll do that, and I'll film it too, so you guys can see how I do. Hopefully, I don't screw anything up because this will be my first time ever doing that. So, we'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, and something else, because once I do that, change out the distributor and everything, get the proper vacuum advance set up, and all that different stuff, then I'll need to look at the carburetor tune actually to make sure that's all in check. Because I've been playing around with the tune on the carb a little bit, but there's only so much you can do when the engine runs like crap. So yeah. Um, so I haven't been driving her too much. I've just been around town, sort of thing. I do not trust her on the highway at all, because especially when you're at like 2,800 RPM, oh, that thing is smoking like a chimney. You pin the thing, like if you launch it, oh god, it's awful. Just so much smoke out the back. So yeah, it should definitely help the car immensely doing that with any luck. And if there is zero change, then that means there's something internally wrong with the engine, and there's not much I can do about that other than to rebuild, which I wouldn't rebuild that motor. I would just get another one. So, thanks. I hope so too, because otherwise, I'll have to get it up to Edmonton, and then I'll have to try and work out a deal with my buddy Keith and be like, hey, can I buy one of the 302s that you have lying around? Because I need one. I mean, he might sell one. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure he probably would to me because he's got two of them. Both Explorer 302s. So yeah, those would be fantastic. But we'll see. And it'll actually make more power than it does now. Although I don't see, because the problem is if the injection system wasn't so ugly for those 302s, I would probably keep the injection rather than the carburetor that I have now. But we would just end up probably swapping the my intake and carb over to that engine, and because we already have everything set up for it as it is, so it's like, why not just stick with the carburetor at that point? To be honest. And who knows? Maybe I might be able to steal a carb harness off of him too, because I'm sure he has some lying around. What was that? Oh, I don't care about that. That's Pokemon Go. Yeah, because actually, in something though, yeah, I'm not gonna LS swap it, because like the one thing is, don't get me wrong, LS motor is great and everything. Nothing really wrong with them, to be honest. There's a reason why everybody uses them. But I don't want an LS in my car. I really don't. And the problem is, if I put an LS in it, I'm gonna grenade that AOD, guaranteed. So, but I mean, and honestly, like, it's no different than, Stitch, my inline six Mustang. Like, the thing is with that car, I don't want to swap out the engine on that. I want to stick with the inline six and build it out and make it a really nice sort of car that will beat a mildly modded 302. Like, basically, if it can beat, if Stitch can beat Lilo in a race, that would be ecstatic to me. I would be so happy with that. Which, there will be a lot more on my side to be able to win that race. Well, because for one, I'm going to swap out the rear gear, like the rear end, for one with 373s preferably, which I know where there's one. It's $500, so. See, now the thing is, like, I don't mind LS swaps if it's done in something that's a little different. Like, if you wanted to LS swap like a Porsche Cayenne or a Land Rover or something like that, that'd be great. Like stuff like that. Why not go for it, right? But when you're having LS in something that is so common to see in LS, eh. And the one thing is, like, I don't know modern engines that well. Like, even though an LS is basically a modified Ford Windsor, because it really is. You look at the two engine designs and like they are so damn close to each other. And the fact that you can actually put LS heads on a 302 block, even a 351 block for that matter, like any Windsor block, to be honest. They will fit with some mild modification. The Voodoo. Isn't that so? Wait, the Voodoo. That's the flat plane crank 5.2, isn't it? Um, because like, don't get me wrong, that'd be cool, but I don't have the money for that. I'd have to get. Oh, you guys would have to donate a crap load of money for me to do something like that. But like, because one thing is like on my 81, because well I have it's actually right here. I picked up this was a few weeks ago now. I picked up the short shifter for a T5. So a T5 is going to go in that car now. And yeah, well, because the thing is, I bought an HEI distributor that is designed for a Roller 302. Oh, what the hell's going on there? Oh. What the hell happened here? I just stripped it out. I was just trying to take the knob off. What the hell? Wasn't that great? Okay, well, I know how to take that off at any rate. I just have to... Yeah. What a stupid design is that? Yeah, this thing is also cracked, too. Piece of crap. I just took it off, like, 10 minutes ago. Actually, well, no, sorry, not 10 minutes ago. Before the live stream. Like, I was playing around with it. And now it's broken. So, but anyways, I have the short shifter for a T5. I'll have to get a new knob, but that's fine. I was planning on doing that anyways. And yeah, I'll just order one for her shifter. That's, you know, the white ball sort of thing. It'll look good. It'll be fine. Although I would be interested in doing something a little different. Well, here's the thing. With okay, the Ford distributor on that thing is a piece of junk. Because the problem is, it's an electronic advanced distributor for a carburetor. They don't talk to each other, right? So I'm not going to stick with that. The HEI is cheaper than going to get a different, like a Ford one. It actually is, because I only paid, let's see, for the headers and that, it was $250. So, yeah. So like I paid $250, like I said, for those. And I will be, putting it in, and like basically, so I look at it as HEI's brand new are only like 80 or $100. And the thing is, an HEI distributor is better than a stock Ford one. They really are. With that whole having the coil inside of it and everything, it's much more efficient than the stock design. So yeah, no, I would. I have no problems with going to the HEI because I have it as well. Like I bought it because I wanted a performance-oriented distributor, and that works. You know, and for people saying just get an MSD, MSD is a waste of money unless if you're making a ton of power. Like if you're not making about 800 horsepower, MSD is pointless. Yeah, you don't get me wrong. You can race with a stock Ford distributor, but an HEI is so much better. Like it just has. It's been proven actually. A stock Ford distributor versus an HEI, the HEI actually has better performance out of the box. And yes, can you tune it and make it better? Of course you can. But so can you with the HEI, make it even better, right? So no, I honestly, the HEI is totally the way to go. You know what? And I'm totally fine with that. And again, I have it. And unless if you're gonna donate me a different distributor, I'm sticking with the HEI. Because like that's the funny part when people say, "Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" Well, I already have the part, and you're not paying for it, so therefore. Actually, no. To be honest, because they don't make an HDI that works with the inline six. Not at all. But the stock Duraspark 2 distributor on that is apparently the best distributor you can actually have. Like the MSD distributor is not better. Apparently, it's kind of a waste of money to do the MSD. No matter how fast it is. Hey, it has been, yeah. I haven't done a live for a while, and it's just I finally decided, hey, today, to do one, and look at that. We actually have a bunch of people in here, so it's kind of nice. Because yeah. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. And as well, if you haven't, please hit that like button because every little bit helps me. I see 7 people and only 1 like. But yeah. But I mean, and like, yeah, because with everything I've researched on the inline six, because I've asked people actually, that have built these engines out. So yeah. Well, that's fair. And I don't get me wrong, I like my Ford stuff too. Like obviously, look at my inline six. It's keeping that Duraspark too, and it's great. And I'm keeping the inline six in that car because I could very easily, to be honest, it's not hard to do at all. Other than figuring out transmission and drive shaft lengths, but other than that, putting in a small block Chevy and Stitch is super, super, super simple. Because the thing is, the inline six has this unique cross member that has a different motor mounts than your standard small block Ford, or even the 3.8 V6 or the 2.3, which I think all of those have the same motor mounts anyways, because they have the same cross member and stuff like that, and they designed it very well that way. And so yeah, the thing is, they have these really like long sort of style that's very similar to a small block Chevy, and it's actually not that hard to put them in there. And if you get an early small block Chevy, like if you get an early like a 327 that has the higher compression and stuff like that, you'll blow the doors off of any 5 liter that's stock anyways, and you'll be able to hold more power stock too because the 5 liters. It is known, although some people are able to get more power out of them, but it's rare. Sorry, my brain is not functioning. And apologies. I will lose my my brain has not worked as well ever since I got over COVID, to be honest. A lot of things are a little harder to process. And as well, like even just now, you can see that my mind is a little foggy because I was just talking about something and I can't even remember what I was talking about. My train of thought is just gone, and that's happening more frequently than it was before. But and hey, Mark, I definitely appreciate you liking the video. And hello to you too. It's actually kind of nice here. So it was windy and there was a little bit of snow earlier, but nothing of note. So. Ah. Oh, God. I'm good. Gotta love my health. My health is great. Gotta love it. Hi, Saber. But yeah, so I know I don't actually smoke. I have health issues and I am asthmatic. So that really sort of deep bronchial sound when I cough is because of my asthma. And then I'll just, I'll do that every now and then, to be honest, especially when I talk more. Like, the more I talk, the worse it gets for that. So, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Anyways, getting back to car stuff. That, yeah, it's okay. It happens, right? And I'm sure when I got COVID, it didn't do me any favors concerning that because I know it's made my brain all screwed up. But I wouldn't be shocked if it's screwed with my health. Mm, I've never had edibles, to be honest. It's not like I haven't thought about it, but you know. See, that's fair. I mean, the one thing is, I don't have a pile of parts lying around, and I don't really have like I have people that I can call upon if I need parts, absolutely. But just offhand, no. I literally have, well, I don't have much for storage at all. I live in a trailer. My shed is full. Like I really can't put much more crap in there. So yeah, like the thing is, I have like in my tuner, to be honest, the guy that is really good with tuning my cars. Well, he lives up in Edmonton. That's actually Roy Marco. Um, Good friend of mine, to be honest. And yeah, you know what? And if you're not subscribed to him on YouTube, you should be. um, but yeah, so because like that's one of the things too that I wanted to actually borrow. Um, well, that's true. Like to be honest, for the most part, a distributor is a distributor, but like you mentioned, with the coil being in the cap, it is nice that way because it actually does produce more power stock versus the stock Ford ones, and that's because that electricity from the coil doesn't have to travel, right? It is there immediately inside of the distributor. So, and it's not like a ton, you know, like that distributor over a stock one, you know, might give you like 2-3 horsepower, maybe, but it is a difference, right? And they're so cheap because an HEI, literally, you can buy one brand new for like $100 off the Summit. Like they are cheap. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I went with an HEI. That's fine. Plus, it's also blue, which matches because it's a Ford motor. So there's that. Um, but yeah, and because like that's one of the things that I was looking into, like with Stitch with her distributor, is figuring out okay, what can I do distributor wise to make this thing a little better? And turns out nothing. Like that is the best distributor that they ever made for those, and there's really nothing better. So, hey, there you go. Yeah, that's another way that you can go to because actually, an HEI is also cheaper than getting the electronic ignition for like all the electronics to put inside your stock distributor as well. So there's that. See me. Because I know, like, if I wanted to go away from points on the Civic, it would cost me about $200 from Rock Auto. I think it's 212 for electronic stuff. Well, I'll judge you slightly for the red cap, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm like, and I'm not doubting your dad's knowledge or your knowledge or anything like that on it. I'm just mentioning what I know about those, and like, and then the HEI is a nice sort of thing to go with over the Ford. It's the only issue you'll come across really with it is how tall they are, because of course the coil's there, right? So, because the one thing is, with the car and like, well, actually, I can show you this, if I wanted to. Yeah, okay, that's cool, very cool. Like I said, we are not denying your knowledge at all. I'm just saying stock for stock, an HEI is better, right? That's all I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with a stock Ford distributor at all. You know, I just like Chevy with the HEI. It was a brilliant design that they had, and they've been adapted to many different engines. Like, because I think you can also get an HEI for a small block Dodge as well. So, yeah. But one thing, well, I can show y'all is because actually what I did with the what I did for an air cleaner on Lila, because she now has an air cleaner on her. Hey, yeah, you're gonna attack me? Really? You're gonna attack me? You little shit. I'm picking you up so I can get up, you silly boy. Try to attack me. Because, yeah, I'll take you with me. And, because I'll show you, actually, well, what I did. Not those keys, those keys. Because on the hood of that thing, cause actually, it looks pretty good. But I'm still, you're gonna paint it? There you go. And don't judge me, yes, my Christmas tree is still up. It's freaking April and it's still up. Which, this is actually the longest it's ever been up. So anyways, let me go out here. A little breezy. Because, yeah, you'll see Lila right here, right? And, let me grab my keys. There we go. Nope, wrong key. Right key. There we go, and pop the hood. See, now the fun stuff is doing this and not putting the phone down. Because that's the trick. When you're a YouTuber, you can typically figure this stuff out that way. There we go. So unfortunately, it's the only air cleaner that I can find that wasn't a lot of money that would fit. So that's a little 10-inch air cleaner, which just looks wrong on there, to be honest. I don't like it, but it's an air cleaner on the car, so it's fine. But as you can see, it's got the stupid stock electronic advanced bull crap on it, so that doesn't work with, it doesn't have fuel injection, it doesn't have the proper computer to talk to it anymore, so yeah, so like, and the one thing is, because I'll have to do a little bit of wiring, not too bad though, because like, the one thing is, I have to because I know that, I'm assuming the green is probably, I'm gonna assume the tack, but then I have two reds here, and they're both red on green, so it doesn't really help with anything that way of which one's which. Because yeah, to hook it up into the HEI when I put it in there. Actually, you know what? I am going to do this. Hang out in the car, because why not? It's better set up in here anyways, to be honest. Because I like this setup better. So yeah, and I mean, and it's kind of nice having these dash mounts in both the cars actually. So I can not only do this, but then I can, film, and the phone is right here, and it's not all around, because there's nowhere to really put your phone when you're in the Fox body. It's yeah, not a lot of room. For added stuff, but yeah, it's one of those deals. Because yeah, I'm not gonna drop the top or anything because it's getting a little chilly out here. But yeah, no. So like that little Elbrock is a 10-inch. I would have liked, because I can do a 12, but the problem is, okay, 12s really don't exist hardly at all. Actually, no, sorry, I was looking for a 13, I think it was. Yeah, it was a 13-inch. And 13s don't exist. 12s are too expensive. 11s are almost non-existent. And then I went to the 10-inch, and, that was only $40. So that's what landed me on that Edelbrock air cleaner. Because I would have much rather had a nice big old air cleaner on there, like my Ford Racing one that's inside. Because actually, um, because that Edelbrock air cleaner that I bought specifically for this car doesn't fit. It hits the distributor, so you know what? With the HDI in it, it's gonna hit that even more. And the only way I can get around that is, well, because the thing is, I did have this on there. Oh, I guess I left it in the trunk. Okay, no worries. I'm not gonna get out and go grab it, but because I did have the carb spacer on this, but the problem is it was causing a vacuum leak, and the car just never ran right. It was awful. So I got rid of that and went to, you know, just regular height and everything, proper gaskets, and hey, look at that, she runs. Not amazing, but she does run. Like, the thing is, you might actually see it out the back when I do this. One, two, three. Right, it starts right up. That's all fine, but you might notice that it's actually it's running better than it normally does. I will say that. But well, I'm sure it's doing it right now because it's at 2,000 RPM, which I actually haven't had to kick it down, which is unusual. But well, okay, Dean, a 14 won't fit. 13 would, or a 12, but not a 14. 14's too big. Because I have a 14 here, the Ford Racing. But, anyways. Because you'll see. And actually, the right bank is not firing correctly. That's interesting. Like, you can see a bunch of smoke out this side, but hardly any on this side. Huh, interesting. That's new. Well, I definitely appreciate it, but I don't need another 10. I already have a 10-inch, so. Oh yeah, I can imagine that was probably a really awesome build that way. Oh, see, and I just revved it there to kick it down, and it just plumed a bunch of smoke out the back. So yeah, this thing's not happy, not one bit. And it's sad, because this is the nice sort of car. Yeah, I mean, if they happen to, if you can find a 12, if you can find a 13, if you can find an 11, the problem is, like, okay, because I could find, I think I found, just for too much money, that way, of these, you know, different sizes. Because 14, very basic, that's your typical size. You can find those all day long for about 40 bucks, right? Sometimes 60 or a little more than that, depending on which style of air cleaner you have, right? So, yeah, that's fine. Because I know, like, that, because the one I have on Stitch is that awesome Edelbrock one that tells you when it needs to be cleaned, which is a very neat system, honestly. Like, I really love that. And what's kind of cool about that is, like, you could convert that into a cold air sort of system better than a conventional, only because the top of it as well is a filter. Like, it's not just the sides, you know, it's actually on top too that's the filter. So it's pretty neat, to be honest. Dean, not really. Like, I don't really care. As long as it'll fit a Holley carburetor, which is, you know, your typical Holley 4-barrel, you know, not a big deal there. Yeah, because, like, I have an Edelbrock on here now. You know, like, it's a Holley carburetor with an Edelbrock intake, so, you know, there's that. But, yeah. Like, and I'm not good doing a stock airbox, because why? And yeah, but that's actually the best it's ran in a while, so that's interesting. Mind you, I haven't started this thing in a little bit, so maybe it just needed time to sit more. But I also do have seafoam in this engine as well. I did put about half a can in the oil. So yeah, and then the rest in the gas, so it is gonna clean out and hopefully be better. Because it's not like it's bad. I just wanted, like, because when I had the valve cover off, I mean, it wasn't dirty in there at all. I do need to change the oil in this thing, though. 100% I do need to do that. But haven't done that yet. So, yeah. But I mean, I need to put this, like, once I have the distributor on this thing and make sure it's running right and everything like that, then I'll change the oil. Because I don't really want to change the oil and then, you know, and then just kind of waste oil if the engine has to be, you know, kind of screwed. So, yeah. Because I do have a filter and I do have oil lying around. I think lying around, I think it's in the trunk of Stitch. So, because I don't think I left it in here. Maybe I did. I don't know. I've got stuff lying all over the place, to be honest. Dean, it depends on the Fox body. Like, I can find good deals on Fox bodies all the time, but it's getting a little harder to find those good deals, though. I will mention that. Like this car, for example, I picked this thing up with its issues for $3,600. Again, and initially I had sold this with the screwed motor in it for $2,800. So, and that's Canadian. So I did that. And then like Stitch over there. Now the thing is, I got a smoking deal when I bought her. Even though, yeah, she didn't run and she was so original that honestly you just needed to replace the originality in it to actually get it to run right. So, like that car, I only bought it. Now, bear in mind, I bought that back in 2019, but still, I bought that thing for only $500. But I have since put over $7,000 into it. So, just with fixing it, because I'm pretty sure that's where I'm at. I need to look over my totals again. There's a lot of money put in that car, and it's still not perfect, like nowhere near, but runs pretty good. And yeah, so I'm not too worried about that. There's a siren going off. But yeah, like, and the one thing is, I would absolutely love to be driving this car. Not today because it's cold, but you know, like, this car is really nice because again, convertible to drive around. But see, like, and the thing is, and I can find cheap Fox bodies. Like, the thing is, it depends on what year, what options, all that different stuff. Because the thing is, these cars, like, okay, nobody really wants a convertible, so these are cheap. That notchback, it's an inline six, so nobody really wanted it. Because everybody knows, or at least people that do know about the inline sixes, is again, they have that unique cross member that you have to swap out if you're going to put a 302 in it, or you do custom motor mounts. But, you know, and most people are just like, oh, it's no big deal to swap out the K member or whatever else like that. Just like, for me it is. Because, well, I don't really have much for trying to do that. Like, I could probably pull it off, but I don't want to. There's that. Because it's so much easier. Like, if you have a lift and everything, oh god, doing that is simple. Very, very simple. But when you're doing it just in your gravel driveway with a 3-ton jack and basic tools, you know, it's not a big deal. And hey, Mustang guy, no worries. Definitely appreciate you coming to the live stream, and hope you have a fantastic evening, and I'll catch you later. It's 3,500 and back in 89. Jeez, yeah, see, like, because there are Fox bodies that are very, very, there are Fox bodies that are expensive. Absolutely. Like, if you get a 85 or 86 5-liter 5-speed, especially 85 5-liter 5-speed, you know, notchback or even hatchback, you're looking at least $6,000 to $8,000. If it's like mint, there's nothing wrong with it. This one, of course, has rust in the body, whatever else. Like, this car, although it's interesting because convertibles are starting to slowly come around, but this car, if it was like mint, I still only think it'd be worth $5,000 or $6,000. Like, you know, new top on it, no rust on the body, it running right, no faded interior, the dash pad is not cracked, stuff like that. See, that had to have been, like, Dean, I'm assuming that was a very special Fox body for it to be worth that. if all that was gone on it. Because like, well, what year was it? And was it a basic G? But depending on year, that does make a difference. On those. Because like interestingly, like 80. Okay, see, yeah, 85 is one of the more desirable years. Because it's the last year for the carburetor on the 302. If you had a 5-speed, if you had an automatic, it could have been a CFI system as well. People don't realize that Ford used a CFI system in Fox bodies as early as 83. Because I had 83 Capri that was a 5-liter with the CFI unit on it. It was kind of weird. And everybody said, oh, that's been swapped in. No. I ran the numbers on that engine. It was an 83 engine. So, and nobody would have put CFI on a stock on that because everybody knows the CFI units are junk. They're horrible. I would know. I had one. It was awful. I had one in this car. So yeah, when they went over to the sequential fuel injection, it was so much better. But which 86 was the first year for that on the 5 liters. On a 3.8, I think it was 80. Actually, no, they got rid of the 3.8 in 87. That's right. It was 2.3 and 5-liter only. So there's that to consider as well. Because I forgot about that actually. But yeah. So and it's just one of these deals where I am like I'm thinking of what I want to do. Like to this car, because I do want to do something funky at the top. Hey, no worries, Dean. I definitely appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully you find something. But if not, no worries. Like I can run with that one that I have on here. It's just I just don't like the look of it. That's all, because it's 10-inch. Nice. That's cool. And yeah, it is. It's a 10-inch, like I said. So you looking for a 10-inch would just be pointless because I can find 10 inches all day long. It's yeah. It just does not match. The 14 that I have is fantastic. That Ford Racing 14 would be great on here. But it doesn't fit. So the only way to make it fit is I do have actually they're in the trunk. I do have air cleaner spacers that I could do that with, but I mean I'd much rather do that with like carb spacer, to be honest. But I bought a carb spacer, it was junk, so I'll probably end up doing another one and seeing if it works any better, but until then. And the kid's just leaving with his charger behind me there. Modern charger for it's like a 2005, 2006, somewhere in there. But yeah. So hey, no worries, Mark. I definitely appreciate you coming out. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening and you take care of yourself as well. Yeah. And I hope to have another video coming out Thursday, maybe Friday. We'll see. Yeah, and who knows? Next time you see me, I might have a car to flip, which will be filmed here on YouTube. So if I do, so we'll see. So your thing is $30,000 show cars by the sounds of it. Like the one thing is, I like, because don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a 4 or nothing wrong with an Aero Mustang, but I love a 4i over an Aero. They're just cooler. Like I have the egg crate grill on that one, and then I have the slight slit grill on this. So oh my god. Ugh. Oh, I hate my health. But yeah, I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Oh, as well, something that I'm trying to get to film. We'll see. Unfortunately, the guy sold the car, so I can't film it there. But he's gonna pass on my information to the new owner and see if he is open to letting me film the car, which the car is actually a very rare Fox body. Like, it might even be the rarest Fox body ever. To be honest, because Fox body is pretty plentiful, regardless of if it's a Fairmont, if it's a Zephyr, even like, although the wagons are a little rarer of the Fairmonts and Zephyrs, but they do exist. Um, and, Mustangs and all that different stuff. Um, the thing is, the car in question, or not really a car, it's actually a truck. Um, it is a 1981 Ford Fairmont. Well, not a Ford Fairmont. It's actually a Ford Durango, which they only made 212 of them, and they are based off the Ford Fairmont, where they take a two-door, they cut the back off of it, and they do like the El Camino treatment, and it looks really killer, to be honest. And I found one for sale. They wanted 15 grand for it. It sold pretty quick, actually. It sold within like 3 or 4 days. I was trying to get a hold of the seller of it, and he was open to me filming it, but he wanted to, because he had somebody looking at it and whatever else, and didn't really want me to film it at that point. So it was kind of weird that way. But the guy's been very cordial and good about it. To be honest, I'm not upset at him. I'm actually quite happy about it, that he is passing on my information to him. But I just wish he would have let me come up there and film the car before this, because I'm not looking to drive it or anything like that, because let's be honest, I know exactly how it'll drive. It is going to be identical to that car over there, because it is an inline-six automatic too. Identical, and it probably has the 273 rear gears just like Stitch does. So, and is it going to be lighter? No. In fact, it's probably going to be close to the same weight. Well, same here. I would love to have one, but I mean, they're so rare to find. Like, it's the only one that I've seen for sale here in Alberta, because I do keep an eye out for them. Like, I keep an eye out for many different vehicles. Well, thank you. Except for which one? Because I do have two. I always wonder about that, because like there's this one that I'm sitting in right now, and then the other one is, well, over there. So, do have two of these. Because this one technically is a nicer car, although interestingly, like nicer is relative. It looks nicer on like the interior and stuff like that. Under the hood is kind of nice too, whatever else. But that one's actually a cleaner car. Because the body has much less rust in it, and that's what I consider to be cleaner that way. That's one of the reasons why, like, I've been offered over 6 grand for that car. By a few different people. I've turned it down every time, but like, somebody would have to probably pay me around 10 for me to get rid of it, but I'm not going to. However, if somebody came up to me with 10 grand, I might consider it, even though this car's not running worth a damn. But with 10 grand, I could definitely make this thing a lot nicer. So that would fix the top, that would fix the interior on this one. That would do everything I want under the hood, which is not much, to be honest. And with that kind of money, I may as well just do a 5-speed swap on this one too. Have fun, right? So, but the 5-speed is going to go in that. So, and thank you, I definitely appreciate it. Because the thing is, like, and this one, this is a nice car, like, and it drives nice and everything like that, and I have no issues there. But to be honest, both of my cars drive nice. This one's just a lot nicer of a cruiser that way, of just, relax, put the top down, enjoying yourself, listen to music, sort of thing. That one's a better driver though, when it comes to just, if you want to take it down like a B road or something like that, it's nice and twisty, that's the one to take, not this one. Now that might change, because I do want to put a roll bar in this car, and it's honestly because this is a convertible. It was a stock V6 car, it's now a V8. And the thing is, the V6 convertibles did not have the bracing that the V8s do. So adding the roll bar with like subframe connectors would really make a big difference in this car. With the whole rigidity thing. Because like the one thing is, because something you can hear, if I do that, whoops, not that window. Do this window here, roll it down, right? And it's got power windows too. If you open and close the door, you can hear a little bit of a rattle, like not much of one, but just a tiny bit of a rattle in the door when the window is down. And especially when the top is down too, it's even worse.
You know, and it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, like I don't think I'll actually ever get 10 grand out of it. But if somebody offered me 10 grand, that's what would actually buy that car in its current state. Once I have the 5 speed on it, and once I actually have it built the way I want, there is no buying that car because it's going to be so unique and so different and going to be really cool. Like when I'm done with it, don't get me wrong, the people that know will know it's a Mustang, but the people who don't know aren't going to have a clue what that car is. So yeah, and it's not like I'm doing anything really bad. Like it's actually Fox body parts that I'm going to be using to build that thing into just a super cool car. And oddly enough, I can go get the parts pro bono for free. So I can't wait for that, to be honest. Maybe this summer, we'll see. Fingers crossed on that. Because right now, like, I can honestly do just about whatever I want because I do have some money right now. Which is nice. Like, and that's why I've been buying a couple of things. I don't want to blow all my money though, because like that valve cover that I bought, um, like it cost me, it was like $320 all in, which is not bad to be honest. Um, and that is currently being shipped as we speak. It is in LA. So, and that valve cover is nice aluminum finned. It'll look really good on that car, and I can't wait to get it and install it. It'll look fantastic. Which there's not gonna be a full video on the install of that because, it's a valve cover install, right? Not that hard. I've already done a valve cover, at least disassembly on this one. There's a video on that if you want to see that. That's on the channel. But yeah, because I think I titled that video as the beautification and performance mod because I did the that's right, I did the valve cover and the carb spacer at the same time. So yeah, and now up next on this thing is going to be, because and that might be my next video, we'll see, is the distributor install. Because yeah, I could use this thing running better than it does now. But yeah, I really do love this car. Although interestingly though, and I'll show you, because like, you know, I have the power on, right? But and you know, and I can roll down the front two windows, no big deal. But if I want to roll down the quarter windows, so you'll see you do that. Like, it doesn't really go down very well unless if I have the top down. Like, it just gets kind of stuck there. You can kind of guide it a little bit, but you can only get it that far down. So, I mean, I would love, to be honest, I love the newer Challengers, and especially like the Hellcats and the Red Eyes and stuff like that. Those are cool. And yeah, like if somebody offered for me to drive one, I would do that in a heartbeat. Currently, the cars that I will get to drive, which actually there's a cool one coming soon for that. There's, because I just need to email the guy and see when he's available, because yeah, I'll just take a trip out of it, no big deal, and I'll see if I can visit my friend. Pat is down there. Okay, Disney Plus, I don't care. Yeah, I really don't care. Sorry. Because the thing is, like, my buddy Pat, we've only actually met each other once. He's a good guy and everything. And yeah, it's, you know, we've been friends for a few years now, and we just, problem is he is so busy a lot of the time, and I am, well, it's a bit of a trek, and usually I don't have money. I do now. So, but anyways, the two cars in question that I'll actually do a review on, both these cars are going to be two separate videos. One is a 2018, 2019 Genesis sedan with the twin turbos making like 370 horsepower, something like that. Honestly, great cars, I've heard. So I'd love to review it. And you know what? And he's open to letting me review that, which is cool. But then as well, there's another car that I want to review. And actually, he's just like, yeah. he would toss me the keys for that one, and it's actually same guy owns a 1989 Dodge Dakota that's fully restored with a 5-speed manual in it and everything like that. 3.9 V6. Honestly, not very fast, but will be a fun truck to drive. I've never driven a first-gen Dakota, so that'll be kind of cool. Actually, I've never driven a Dakota in general. I've driven a Ram, but it's not quite the same. It's very similar, but not the same. Same components inside and whatever else, but smaller package and lighter. So, but then as well that there is another guy that he lives in Calgary, and he actually messaged me on Instagram the other day because he has an 81 Malibu that has an LS swap in it and a turbo 400 in it. And the thing is, he wanted to get a picture of his car next to my car because they're both 1981, right? So, and he likes my car a lot. He likes the look of it and everything. So, just like, cool. You know what? I am definitely okay with doing that, 100%. And so I'll do a video on that car because I don't think that car's ready for the road, so there won't be a review on that one. However, he has a 93 Trans Am with the 6-speed in it that I'll get to review as well. So there's 3 reviews coming fairly soon. And then there's going to be another review coming, and I need to message him on Instagram as well because of a 2020 or 2021 Toyota Supra. So I can't wait for that, to be honest. The car's yellow. And you know what? It'll be a very fun car to drive. It did not work out last summer to do it. It just, whenever I was up there, I didn't have time to go do it. He still has a car. He says he's still interested in doing it. So I will do that one as well. So I really can't wait for that. It'll be super, super exciting. But yeah, so that's basically what's coming out of the pipeline here. There's still a bunch of other cars that I have to film as well. Like there's that British car collection. There is the Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution, which is basically you take an Evo, you mix it with a Mitsubishi Pajero. It's pretty awesome, to be honest. There is a R32 Skyline as well that I think I'll get to film. Yeah, he said he would actually let me film that. I do remember that. So that'd be cool. GTR that's built to like 600 horsepower. Oh, I love pickup trucks, to be honest. Like, I wish I had one. And now I had one briefly. I only had it for 2 weeks. And what happened with that is, well, it just when I bought it at auction for the sole purpose of flipping it. It was a 94 Chevrolet half ton with a 350 in it. It was on propane. It had AC, all this different stuff. It was a pretty loaded truck inside. But the problem with it though, like it was high mild. It didn't really have the power for what I needed it for. Because if I'm gonna have a truck, I'm gonna use the truck. Like I would want it to tow my cars. Which, the thing is, that truck, it was just down on power, really bad actually. Like, but I think it's because of the propane and like. Because propane, if set up right, is totally fine. You won't really lose much power, but that one was just, it was so gutless. You pinned it and it did nothing. So, yeah, like at all. I tried to, launch it and everything, and it wouldn't really do anything. Like, it felt slower than my inline 6 Mustang, which is sad. Sad. But, it's fine. And so, yeah, and I sold that truck. Like, I bought it for $459 at auction and sold it 2 weeks later for $750. So it was a pretty decent deal. I was hoping for more money than that, but hey, I really didn't have much money into it. Like, I don't even think I changed the oil in that thing. I didn't even change the spark plugs. I just drove it home and sold it. Actually, sorry, I did do some detailing on it. And I also slightly restored the headlights. Which you can actually see that video here on YouTube of me doing that. Now, and yeah, could I have restored them better? Perhaps, but they were cracked and horrible, but they look a little better. So that's all I was looking for. And just showing you guys that, hey, it doesn't take very long and you can do this too. Yeah, and that video actually is here. Like I did that last summer, here on YouTube. So that was a fun one to film because you know what? One of the few videos that I have where I can dress. So working on the car. What is that? But that was. I'm trying to remember. Was I working on this one? Yeah, I think it was when I was working. Yeah, when I changed out the valve covers and stuff like that, because I was wearing a dress in that video, from correctly, and there was somebody that commented actually that said, "Hey, that their daughter actually like really looks up to me and saw me in a video wearing a dress and working on a car and just like and saying that I'm such a badass that way." It's like, oh, that is just awesome. I love hearing stuff like that. Um, I have I don't really have much experience with Hondas, to be honest, at all. I've never owned, like, to be honest. Okay, I will fully put out there all the vehicles that I've owned. Like, there is, and the Civic is part ownership between me and my dad. It's more of my dad's, but you know, it is mine too. But anyways, so there's the 81 Mustang, this 86 Mustang. I did have a 94 Chevy pickup, like I mentioned not long ago. I did have an 84 Chevrolet Vandura conversion van. I loved that van, and I really wish I didn't sell it, because I could have actually used it as a tow rig, to be honest. It was a 3/4 ton van, 350, 700 R4. Honestly, if I just put a tranny cooler on it, it would have been perfect for that. And it ran and drove great, especially after it sat in the bush for 10 years, and we just put tires and changed the oil on it, and it freaking runs beautifully. But there was that one. What else have I owned? And I only owned that van for about a month too, because it was another one of those, like, that was in lieu of payment, actually. I sold a International Scout for my friend, and he wanted all the money out of it. So he was like, "Well, hey, that van you've been cleaning up, do you want it?" Like, yeah, I'm in. That had the high top on it too, so yeah, I wish I would have kept that van. That van was awesome, but that's okay. And I could have cleaned it up even more and just have a really nice little cruiser that is a good tow vehicle too, because again, 3/4 ton. So yeah, it would have towed my cars easily, and would have towed basically anything I put on a trailer and behind it. But I'd just be worried about the tranny. So got in a nice 95. I've never sat in a 95 Mustang. I'm not sure. Like, I owned his 99 Mustang briefly, very briefly. That was just a parts car. I actually had that one for a little longer than anything else. I was going to use it for parts. Like, I was going to take some stuff off of it for my car, but I didn't end up doing that, and I just flipped it. In the end. Which it sucks, because I wish I would have kept that. To a certain extent. Like, if I still had that, I'd have the 8.8 for this car right now. But, I mean, that's a 5-lug, but whatever. Because I'd have to find 5-lug wheels for this. And the thing is, like, I know somebody that has a 95. Like, a friend of mine does actually have a 95 that he is selling. Not actively listed or anything, but he is selling it. And it's a V6 car. But the thing is, it's got a blown head gasket. I think there's an issue with the VIN or something. I can't remember for sure. But basically, I'd only want it for parts anyways. I wouldn't really care. And I could get it picked up for basically nothing, like less than scrap. And which I want to do, to be honest. Like, I want to, because I do want to pick the thing up. I want to take the front spindles off of it. Then I want to just basically pull all the little parts out of it that I can get, you know, like the seats and whatnot, and see if there's anything under the hood that might be useful. It's probably not, it's the V6. But yeah, and then sell it on, right? And, you know, get 5-lug spindles that way, because you can actually do that with SN95s that are 94 or 95 specific. They actually are really good for the spindles for the front if you want to convert something to a 5-lug, which I've thought about it for this, but I don't know, we'll see. Because I do have those nicer wheels for it that are actually being reconditioned as we speak. Which I should actually message them and see if those are done yet. Because I haven't talked to what is his name? I can't think of his name right now. In a while, and actually he was supposed to go check out a truck that I'm selling, but never did. Well, the one thing is, like, a lot of the stuff I work on is pretty simple, to be honest. Like, most of it's carbureted, so carburetors to me are very easy. I can figure it out, and if not, I can talk to somebody and they can talk me through it pretty easily. Because I've had to do that a couple times actually with the carburetor, just seeing where everything is set and all that stuff. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, like, and I don't really have much experience of working with anything with fuel injection. And actually, and I will mention, sorry, in the other vehicle that I owned before, I totally lost track of that because I started talking about other stuff. And the last one, which is still in my possession, but again, it's more of my dad's car than mine, but it is kind of a partial ownership thing. Like, I'll probably end up driving it quite a bit, in the future, is actually it's a 1978 Honda Civic, 1200cc, 4-speed manual, has been off the road for 26 years, actually almost 27 years now. Because I think it was May. Yeah. May of 95 is when it was off the road. So it'll be 26 years. Or no. May of 96? 95? I can't remember. I have to look at the license again. Which again, it's up in Edmonton. It used to be parked right here. But we moved it. So that's what happened. I got it towed up to my buddy's place. He, was good with it. Well, see, I mean, the one thing is, brand new carburetors, oh yeah, they're expensive. But you can get used carburetors for decent price that are not expensive at all. Like, the thing is, you can get 2 or 4 barrels. Like, it really depends. Like, I have picked up a carburetor. It was only $20. It needed to be gone through, but it was actually a good carburetor because I've had that thing apart. Looking inside, it's really nice. Which, yeah. And I've bought a couple of carburetors that way. Because and the 2 barrel that I initially had on Stitch, because she had a 1 barrel carburetor on her originally, which is a Holly. It's a terrible design, honestly, not worth even talking about. I still have one. It's actually in the shed. But I had one of those on there, and that was the original carburetor to the car. But I had it running okay, but I wanted different. I wanted better. So I went to a Motocroft 2100 unit, which this was a brand new rebuilt carb, but I could never get it to run right. Regardless of what I did with changing out jets and everything, because there was a jetting issue with it, and it just was never happy. Then, well, I go up to Edmonton one time, and my buddy Roy Marco, he helped me out with actually swapping that one out for a different carburetor, which was off of a 66 Fairlane. And it was another Motocroft 2100, but the thing is, because it was off of 66, it was a lot different. And also, it has Holly jets in it from the factory, where the Autolite that I had in it actually did not. It had Motocraft specific jets, which are actually very hard to come by. I only found one website that sells them, and they're very expensive. So, yeah, having being able to use Holly jets and that thing now, it's so much better, and especially when we do the forced induction thing, because probably gonna end up having that as a draw-through carburetor, not a blow-through, because especially if we do this thing with the supercharger on that, like an Eaton M90 on top of the intake would be dope, but we'll see. Oh yeah, that's the one thing. Because depending, 88 Cadillac, is that a DeVille? Or is that a Seville? What caddy is that? I know not very much on them, but a little bit. Because I love the old boat caddies, but they're not very fuel efficient at all. But because again, there's no such thing as a fuel efficient boat. And they've tried. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, those are neat. Very neat. I do actually. Those are the ones that I like more. Yeah, and like I've never driven one, and I want to. Like, there are lots of stuff, and actually, that's another car I'll get to drive. Well, actually, I've already driven it, but I'll do a review of it anyways, soonish, ish. Is Teen Mechanic here on YouTube? A friend of mine, good kid to be honest, and we talk not terribly often, but we do text each other every now and then. Um, is he has a 1977 AMC Matador sedan, and it's got a 360 in it. It is mostly stock, although it does have a intake on it. But other than that, basically stock. So the thing is, that car, and I drove it, and well, it doesn't drive how you think it would. Like, I knew it was gonna be slow, and I knew it was gonna be like, it's slow, and yeah, it is slow, and it's not very comfortable. Like, I would have expected it slow and comfortable, and it's not comfortable. So it's interesting that way. But no, I am not from Toronto. I don't currently live in Toronto. I've never even been in Toronto. I may have flown over it depending on the flight path when we went to Montreal, like when I went to Montreal a couple of summers ago. But I have never actually been to Toronto. So I live in Alberta. Small little town. 3,000 people here. It's a nice little town. Honestly, I do enjoy it here. Ugh. Cause something like I need to go grocery shopping tonight, or do a little bit of shopping anyways. Pick up some things, which I should probably do here fairly soon before it gets too cold, and before the storm blows in here. Um, but yeah. Anyways, I think though, and that's cool. That's very cool. Cause yeah, like I've only been to Eastern Canada like twice in my life. Once I was like literally 6 months old, so I don't remember that, obviously. And then the other one was again, back in 2020. I was in Montreal for. I was only there for 14 days, so it wasn't too long. Um, and to be honest, I didn't really get to see the sights or anything because I was there for surgery. So, but anyways, I think I'm going to let y'all go. I'm gonna take Lilo out for a spin, and that's a holy crap. That's a 454 SS short box. You never see those anymore. You see them all the time, but wow, that's cool to see. But anyways, yeah, I am going to head out here. I need to pick up some things, and yeah, before it gets too nasty out there. But anyways, I love you all. Thank you all so much for watching the live stream, and yeah, I will catch y'all again soon. So yeah, anyways, I appreciate it, and thank you very much for that. Yeah, I have lots of videos, over 400, so plenty to choose from. But anyways, I'll chat to you all later. Thank you all so much. I love you all. Goodbye. Bye.